Greetings and welcome to the return of the Bobby Z Show. This morning we are gonna take a half an hour peek at the mainstream media, see what's been going on in it recently. I generally just reserve looking at mainstream for Sunday nights and once again midweek, but I thought, as much as I don't want to entertain the idea of mainstream media and let it into my head too much, I do think it is sometimes worth just analysing it and probing it, scratching beneath the surface, as it were, looking at it from a slightly different perspective to what some might view when they see headlines, such as what we're going to look at in a minute. As I say, it's only a 30-minute stream and I've got a few subjects I would like to look at, so I won't spend too much time on any one particular subject, but in a second I'm going to bring up our first thing we're going to look at. The front page of any newspaper, if not today, then I would have thought in the coming days. We'll bring up the display. Right, personally, I'm not going to look, as I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on any of these subjects. At least for this stream, we may well return to it another day. The report of an absolutely horrific event taking place in Nashville. Don't know if anyone caught my Sunday stream. I said that the things highlighted on mainstream media are ridiculous, like to another level, depressing, miserable. If you live in this world of mainstream media, of mass shootings in schools and people dropping dead on the corner from illnesses, if you want to live in that paradigm, you would be miserable as sin, is the only way I could think of it. As we hear, apparently a transgender, I'm sure I saw the word transgender, here we are, Sky News, it's on, by the way, let's just have a look at that. Every major outlet is covering this story. Sky News, the Belfast Telegraph, the Mail Online, the Independent, the BBC, the Guardian, as always, full across the board coverage. As is the case with genuine incidents of murders and criminal investigation, you do not put all information out to the media like within 24 hours of it happening. You wouldn't name the alleged perpetrator, I don't believe, in a genuine murder. Just wait for a train going past. I imagine the audio isn't that great, so apologies for that. In fact, on that note, I am just going to check my audio. Yeah, we seem to be playing alright. Is there any background music going? Let me check that. Nope. Okay, that was another subject we looked at on Sunday. Apparently they've murdered 3 children. The purpose of these news events, we are gonna see, they like their pentagrams. They always seem to squeeze them into every news story. There are certain things, whether it's a coincidence, whether it just so happens that 3 adults and 3 children, where are we, 3 and 3 at a private school by I don't know, I'm guessing it's a man that identifies himself as a female. Audrey Elizabeth Hale, who was once a student there, was killed by police after a confrontation. Would you really put that information out the morning after it happens? A lone zealot who lives in Nashville was armed with 2 assault weapons. Hale had a manifesto and they're never just psychopaths that go out and do these things. They always write themselves manifestos. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. By the way, greetings to Rob Mule. Good seeing the chat. It's got the 33 classic. Of course, it has. These numbers will come up again and again. I guess we could put up the numerology calculator and check on any of the names. 6 victims have already been named. Think of the reality of this situation. Less than a day ago, 6 people were slaughtered in cold blood. 24 hours later, the press are reporting it and cashing in on those names. Evelyn Deek Hulse. Let's have a look. We are going to bring up the numerology. We'll just indulge it for a few minutes. As I say, numerology is... I cannot mention it without shouting out RV Truth. They Live Truth. As he is the first place I discovered. Heard of numerology, and I know it goes a lot deeper than Chaldean and Pythagorean. And there are some good channels that cover numerology. I don't take it any further than just a cursory glance, seeing that some of these names seem to be, would you say coded? I don't know. I mean, actually, let's look at those names individually. And what was the other one? Evelyn. DIECKHAUS happens to be, okay, a 36. Right, Haley Scruggs. Last one we'll look at. We're not going to spend too much time on the calculator, but we will certainly bring it up. 41. Scruggs is a 23. And what about Haley? Okay. Yeah, there's many other names. Perhaps on Sunday we could look closer at the numbers, as I did want to look at one of the victims that were interviewed, I believe. Actually, yeah, bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to mask my screen for a minute. The subject of tonight's video is just weird. It was originally going to be about another story. Right, let me see. I'll be returning to the screen in 1 second. I just see Rob Mule says the state it happened in just happens to be lowering the age of ownership from 21 to 18. I've got to say, I'm not 100% convinced that controlling guns is particularly... I mean, the motive for these people that commit these things... Hang on, we've got a couple of bits we can bring up. Where are we? We'll watch this angry survivor just hijacking a press conference. Oh, so I mean...
Aren't you guys...
Line it up. I think the press had... were obviously already on the spot in Nashville. They had a good team of reporters. It just so happened that also happened to be a woman that campaigns, as she'll tell us in a minute. She's met with 50-odd heads of states and demanded they change the laws on guns. As I say, my personal opinion is I don't really think they care about the laws on guns. I have always said if you wanted to deny people these weapons, you don't necessarily have to ban the guns themselves. Just make the ammunition impossible to get hold of. And then you've pretty much... I mean, of course, guns are still dangerous instruments, even without the proper bullets, but they are pretty... yeah, they're pretty... they are a requirement. Anyway, this campaigner happened to be in Nashville to tell the reporters who had gathered the following.
Tired of covering this?
She's asking, aren't you tired of covering this? Aren't you tired of the press gathering round in front of what could very well be green screens? We don't know. And reporting that someone's smashed into a school. No, love, they're not tired. This is their bread and butter. This is what these people live for.
Aren't you guys tired of covering this?
No, this is the pinnacle of a reporter's career, is to cover an event like this.
Aren't you guys tired of being here and having to cover all of these mass shootings? I'm from Highland Park, Illinois. My son and I survived a mass shooting over the summer. I am in...
What a coincidence. Not only is this woman from Illinois, she happens to already have survived a mass shooting. What are the odds? That situation drove her to campaign, I think.
Tennessee on a family vacation with my son, visiting my sister-in-law. I have been lobbying in D.C. since we survived a mass shooting in July. I have met with over 130 lawmakers. How is this still happening?
This is the campaigner on the spot. Find them at every good mass shooting. You will find someone urgently campaigning. As I said, I don't personally believe that is the... Let's say something sinister is going on, which obviously people shooting up schools is very sinister. But let's say it's even more sinister than that. She looks very glitchy, by the way. I mentioned green screen. Maybe it's just a very poor quality camera. But just look at the glitching on this woman's face. What, these news reporters must turn up with ridiculously rubbish cameras. If the best their images can come up with is this weird, blocky, grainy image. Anyway. Or is that just Anyway, let's go back to hearing her desperately telling us how many lawmakers she's met with.
How are our children still dying, and why are we failing them? Gun violence is the #1 killer of children and teens. It has overtaken cars. Assault weapons are contributing to the border crisis and fentanyl. We are arming cartels with our guns and our loose gun laws.
You see, this incident gets political very quickly. Far too quickly. There's no mourning, there's no tributes to the victims. She doesn't care about them. Who cares about these 6 people that have killed? She's here to tell her story and make sure that as many press and photographers are around as this, because of course they were all just handily on the spot in order to cover this.
And these shootings and these mass shootings will continue to happen until our lawmakers...
Yeah, they will, in my opinion, they'll never remove the boogeyman. This is it would be akin to, I don't know if you ever watched Breaking Bad, the series, and one of the most frightening, one of the most notorious, infamous villains they had in that series. They killed him off in the 2nd series. And taking guns away would be doing the same in that fairy tale. They're not going to remove their villain. So if I don't believe gun control is actually the genuine reason for any suspect activity, what might it be? I'm going to say censorship, I guess. Whoever plays this video, I see the Telegraph waste no time in monetizing a crucial piece of evidence that the police have just made available to the press a day after it happened. No, do not believe that is genuine. In an event such as this, I don't believe the police would be inviting the press to come and start filming, come and start tampering, contaminating the area with all their rubbish. I think they would want the area as clear as possible. Right. Amanda Hale shot. Yeah, 3 and 3 again, as we already said. They're gonna put that one up. Right, I'm not going to play this because I do have a feeling that it could cause the takedown of my channel, or yeah, I'm not even going there, because as far as YouTube are concerned, this is a real thing. So I'm moving on to another one. I see Rob mentions a channel called Joseph Aquina did a Gematria breakdown. If you recommend Joseph Aquina, then we'll have a very quick look at him before we move on. Is he on YouTube? If it is this one. Is this the one? Tech Talk Travel, I'm guessing not. Maybe he's on... Where are we? Joseph Aquina. Rob, you are able to share links. If you're able to put one in the live chat, that would be great. Yeah, moving on to a story. The thumbnail today is of... Hang on, this is not a very good... Where are we? It is this footage that I came across in a tweet, which we will be playing in a minute. The tweet was actually saying, right, Wayne Tech with a blue tick, some of the pills that I'll be dropping for the foreseeable future will be hard to swallow. Some would like to wait until the movie is over to get all of the intel. What this guy ends up suggesting is that Hillary Clinton is being arrested in this video. Let's see. Where was it? She was arrested on her way out from the 9/11 memorial on September the 11th, 2016. This isn't, in my view, in my book, Hillary leaving... Is this the right video? I'm not sure what's going on here. Well, it's sending me to... That isn't the correct video. Right, let's have another go. Yeah, a lot of the videos I put out are about dolls and the use of them, particularly with babies. Just on that subject, actually, while we're waiting for this video to load, I'm not sure what's taken it so long. Yeah, it's the same one, not the right video though. This doesn't show Hillary collapsing. And it who knows. Yeah, I did come across this story just on the fact of dolls. One of the UK's biggest babies has been born, weighs nearly 13 pounds. Ruth Harvey, 36, get the numbers in. Welcome Chunky Monkey. Of course, this presentation is probably exactly how they present, you know, when you buy these lifelike looking dolls. I bet they give you these exact certificates. They've made this one obviously too big to be used as a newborn. So they've just said, oh, let's say it's the largest newborn baby ever given birth to. Right, is that... Okay, here we go. I'm not sure how long this video goes on for. 42 seconds. Are we watching Hillary Clinton being arrested? Not in my view, I'll tell you that. What I believe we're looking at here is a plastic mannequin. And then when you see how they tried to move her, look at that. Is that a real human being trying to walk? And then they literally carry her. That isn't someone getting arrested. That's someone putting a doll in the back of a vehicle. I mean, they're leaning it against this post. That person needs an ambulance if they're in that sort of state. It's like they're literally trying to carry a corpse. Or is that too insane that all these people would gather and crowd round Abdul for the sake of the Telegraph just to give us a ridiculous story? Oh, sorry, it wasn't the Telegraph, was it? It was this person on Twitter. Greetings to Midnight Scribbler, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're not going to be on too long today. We are going to be winding down in the next 10 minutes. I want to touch on the subject of celebrities being arrested, being in court. On that subject, one of my favourite subjects to cover, we've got more footage of Harry. How wonderful. He's arriving at High Court. Could this just be, or is this the real Harry? Or is it just someone arriving for a photo just to be filmed, getting out of a car? Come on, video, don't fail me. Yeah, apparently Harry, who literally just brought out an autobiography, and every single press story written about him mentions his autobiography. I wouldn't be surprised if any article we read on this would. Yeah, they're publicising the crap out of his book, and apparently he's now turning up in court to complain that he's not getting enough privacy or something. I think they've done this before, and celebrities who have supposedly had their privacy invaded all get together and talk to the court or go up in front of some important person and say why they should be given more privacy, and then I believe they do a reform as to what the press can do. Obviously, we're all assuming that it's being done with the general public's privacy in mind. No, absolutely not. Completely the other way around. Yeah, any reforms that they do for the press probably just gives them more fake babies. Baby born with no gallbladder was so yellow he looked like he'd been coloured in with a highlighter marker. The truth of that is they probably couldn't get the colour right when they did the CGI, so they say, oh, just say it's a sick baby. Yeah, they love their sick baby stories. Once the advert plays out, of course. Rob showed a link to a video. Also, there's mention of AstroTurf by Rob. I did... Right, what are we watching here? Yeah, I mean, it looks... You might say that looks like a real baby.
Once again,
we've already got the
Harry
colour
surprises everyone with an announcement. He'll come closer to his fans than ever before. The Royal is planning a live stream event to talk about his biography Spare, which was released in January. He will join Dr. Kibulnati, a renowned speaker and best-selling author, for an intimate conversation on Vimeo on March 4th, put on by publisher Penguin Random House. To watch the live stream, fans must buy tickets. The stream will not be recorded, so you won't be able to replay it afterwards.
Get a good look at it. Perhaps
especially surprising, there will be a question and answer session where fans can send in questions for Harry. You have to think Prince Harry will reveal some good stories here.
Rob shared.
Tickets for the online Prince Harry event start at $33, around £19. In addition, fans who buy tickets will also receive a copy of his biography.
Well, Rob showed a YouTube video. I'm guessing this is... Oh, Joseph Aquaviva 222. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing the link. I'll certainly put it in.
Marking its bold debut in Europe, Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas is sailing the Western Mediterranean in 2023. Cruise from Rome and Barcelona for 7-night adventures to Spain, France and Italy, exploring Europe's most iconic landmarks. Pisa's Leaning Tower, the Renaissance Jewel of Florence, Palma de Mallorca's breathtaking beaches, Provence's lavender fields. Experience Symphony of the Seas, voted best overall ship. Visit royalcaribbean.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Sharing it. Looks, looks oh, I haven't brought me display back up. My apologies. Let me close that. Okay, yeah, this is the channel for which I'll, for which Rob Muir has shared a link to in the live chat, and I'll put one in the description of the video before we, when we finish. I will be back again on Thursday evening for a hour, for Bob's the Hour, where we may look closer at some of these stories that we've touched on tonight, or see if mainstream's been populated with a whole new a crop of rubbish for us to sift through. I thank you for taking the time to sift through it with me, because it's a dark and scary place, the mainstream, if you were to believe 1 second of it. So that is why I appreciate you guys joining me for this. Right, let's see. I don't believe... Okay, we've got 3 minutes. One more subject I was going to look at. Again, in the past I've covered Justin Bieber having facial palsy. So, apparently it's all healed now. It's all gone away. Thanks to cover video. He shows off facial mobility following his Ramsay Hunt syndrome. Justin was one of the many celebrities that suffered with facial palsy, and we looked at some of them on a previous live stream, and I suggested he wasn't doing a very good job of convincing me one side of his face was limp, because he, rather than keep one side still and one side drooping, he just exaggerates his speech and movement on, you can see he's clearly trying to just talk out of one side of his mouth and tell us that he's got a disability. But you don't need to worry about that, because Justin's has cleared up. No problem. I hope yours does too. To anyone that is unfortunate enough to have such a syndrome. Right, okay, that is where we are gonna...
Marking its bold debut in Europe, Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas is sailing the Western Mediterranean.
I'm gonna thank... Let me just see. I'm gonna thank Rob Muir and Midnight Scribbler for populating the live chat with some interesting comments. Rob says... the Joseph's... Let me see. His latest video is the shooting, but I can't see if on your screen. Yeah, hopefully I brought it up. I'm pretty sure we looked at his channel, didn't we? Yep, we're on there. Okay, I do hope you can join us when we are back on Thursday evening. Before we finish up, I would like to say my sincere appreciation to Midnight Scribbler, Linda Mack, Nathan Oakley and Skeptic936 for supporting this channel. There is a link to my Patreon in the live chat if anyone wants to see what I get up to over there and come and join us. And I also invite anyone who enjoyed tonight's stream, if you feel like hitting the thumbs up button before you leave, that is always appreciated. Okay, with that I'm going to start calling it a night, and I'm going to put the outro music on. Yeah, and I thank you for taking the time for tuning in. Please share any thoughts and views you have on these subjects, and make sure you, if you can, make it back for Thursday. That would be great. I'd love to see you there. Okay, have a great day. Over and out.